Bueno, muy buenos días, 2021. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros en este tercer día que inicia en este momento. Vamos a empezar agradeciendo a nuestros patrocinadores el día de hoy que nos acompañen para esta edición de Digital Media Latam, la Google News Initiative, el Facebook Journalism Project, Chartbeat, United Robots, Protec Media, Adops Latam y nuestro media partner del Laboratorio de Periodismo de la Fundación Luca de Tena. Los invitamos a seguirnos en redes, en Twitter, a través de nuestra cuenta Wanifra Latam y el hashtag WanifraDML. Siéntanse libres de ir comentando, intercambiando comentarios sobre la jornada. Y vamos a meternos de lleno a la sesión número 1. Empezamos con algunos minutos de retraso. Vamos a enfocarnos en lo que será hoy una jornada más enfocada en temas ligados a la publicidad. El día 1 estuvimos hablando mucho de transformación cultural, de cambio cultural en las empresas, de estrategia. El día 2 nos enfocamos más en temas de producto. Y ahora vamos a enfocarnos más vamos a tocar temas ligados a la publicidad y cómo las empresas, en el marco de un modelo de negocios cambiante, están también integrando su modelo de publicitario. Para ello vamos a tener a dos speakers y un moderador, pero antes de presentarlos quiero asegurarme de recordarles que tenemos traducción simultánea. Recuerden que en la barra de herramientas pueden elegir el idioma de su preferencia. Esta sesión se va a desarrollar en inglés y vamos a tener traducción al portugués y al español. Y también pueden ir dejando sus preguntas y respuestas en la sección Q&A, que también aparece en la barra de herramientas en la parte superior o inferior o al costado de su pantalla. Vamos entonces, como les decía, voy a introducir a los ponentes y al moderador. Vamos a iniciar la sesión con una presentación de Paulo Samia. Paulo es CEO de UOL en Brasil. UOL es el sitio de noticias más grande de Brasil. Paulo se incorporó a UOL en el año 2000, una primera parte. Estuvo ocupando cargos de director financiero y director general en UOL Argentina. Después salió, trabajó como consultor, trabajó en empresas de tecnología y regresó en 2016 a UOL como director de planificación estratégica y director de desarrollo de negocios, hasta que en 2019, hace 2 años, se transformó en CEO de la empresa. Es licenciado y graduado en Administración de Empresas y tiene un MBA de la Columbia Business School en Nueva York. Tenemos a Tiago Afonso. Tiago es director de Ventas y Desarrollo Digital en Editora Globo, Valor Económico, Infoglobo y también el sistema Globo de radio. Tiene más de 18 años de experiencia en el negocio de los medios de comunicación. Ha trabajado en desarrollo de producto y particularmente transformación digital. Hoy en Globo es responsable del Branded Content Studio de la empresa, también de la parte de eventos, de soluciones publicitarias y de monetización digital. También es licenciado en Administración de Empresas y tiene un máster en Dirección Estratégica y Economía de Mercados. Tanto Paulo como Tiago van a compartir con nosotros una presentación y después tendremos una moderación por Andrés Furlaneto para llevar a cabo algunas preguntas de seguimiento y también recibir preguntas del público. André también es brasileño, tiene aproximadamente 20 años de experiencia en el mundo de los medios y la publicidad. Trabajó en Infoglobo como director de marketing corporativo. También trabajó en A Gazeta, uno de los principales medios regionales de Brasil, como director de marketing y desarrollo digital. Ha trabajado en estrategias tanto de publicidad digital como de suscripciones digitales. Se conoce muy bien todos estos frentes y cómo también hay el difícil, desafiante balance entre los ingresos publicitarios e ingresos por suscripciones. Hoy está involucrado con varios proyectos de consultoría, incluido con Wanifra, y también le damos la bienvenida. Le voy a dar la palabra a Paulo, pero no sin antes felicitar tanto a Paulo como a Tiago, porque salieron tanto UOL como OGlobo ganadores de varios de nuestras categorías, de nuestros premios Digital Media Latam que anunciamos ayer. UOL salió ganador de mejor uso de video online y OGlobo mejor estrategia de contenido pago y mejor campaña de marketing. Así que parabéns para vocês. Y Paulo, te doy la palabra. Bienvenido e iniciamos el tercer día. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Rodrigo. Buen día a todos. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I'm really thrilled to share my experience with you. So without further ado, let me start. Let me share my presentation with you. Here we are. I hope that everyone can see my presentation. If not, please, Rodrigo, tell me. So good morning, everyone. Is it good? Thank you. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Paulo Samia. I'm the CEO of UOL. Let me start by just to present UOL to everyone. I don't know if everyone knows everything about UOL, but in a nutshell, UOL, we started in 1996. So we have celebrated our 25th anniversary this year. We recently rebranded. We changed our brand for this new brand, but it's the same UOL from the last 25 years. It's the largest Brazilian internet company. We came from a very traditional newspaper in Brazil, which is Folha de São Paulo, with more than 100 years of history in Brazil. And during all this year, we started to innovate and to launch new products. And a lot of these products became new companies. So today, the UOL Group is comprised of 4 divisions. UOL, which started in 1996 and is the biggest internet portal in Brazil. We also have PagBank, PagSeguro, which is a fintech solution. It's a bank, it's a payment solutions. It started in 2006. And in 2018, it went IPO. It's IPO in New York Exchange, so it's a public company today. It's the biggest company of the group. We also have UOL Compasso, which is IT and infrastructure company focused on digital transformation, basically a consulting company for IT. And also we have UOL EdTech, which is an education platform. All of these companies came from our innovative culture, comes from new products that we launched within UOL, and we had a spin-off of these companies throughout this year. So in a nutshell, this is our group. So now let me talk a little bit about UOL. UOL is the biggest port in Brazil. This is our homepage. It's accessed every day for more than 10 million people. Every month for more than 30 million people access the homepage. We have a very diversified portfolio of products, more than 10 channels, and 2.5 million subscribers to our digital products. It's the largest portal in Portuguese language in the world. We are present in 86% of the Brazilian connected population, with more than 110 million unique monthly visitors. We are the largest audience in Brazil, second only to Google and Facebook, which are platforms. So in terms of publishers, we are the biggest audience in Brazil, and we have grown along these years. For the last 3 to 4 years, we've have increased our reach from 67% to 92%, around 90% in the last year. And this is due to a lot of projects and basically our what we believe that's going to bring us to the future, brought us here, and what's going to take us to the future, which is our credibility. We are very strict in terms of the credibility and the quality of our news products. Customer centricity, we always put the customer on the center of our discussions here. Innovation, as you can see from the first slide, we have very good examples of new products that we launched that we think were well, that become very successful products. And financial discipline, I could not forget. Considering my background, I've always been from the financial side of the business, but financial discipline brought us here. We always take very carefully all our projects in terms of revenue, especially in terms of profitability. So basically, this is our culture. Talking a little bit about our business. Our solutions here, we have solutions for information, entertainment, we have solutions to make life easier, and solutions to organize the business, divided in editorial content, digital products, and events. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is our portfolio of products. Here you can see our verticals. We have Nossa, which is a lifestyle, Eco, which is a pro bono kind of, how to improve the quality of life of the community, Viva Bem, Start, based on technology. We also have digital products and events. These are offline events, very consolidated within the events arena here in Brazil for the last years. These products we monetize, editorial content and events we monetize through advertising, and digital products to subscription. We have several content partners which helped us along these years to increase our audience, to increase our relevance within the digital scenario, and also helps us to expand our advertising inventory when you talk about commercializing advertising. Okay? Our balance between subscription and advertising revenue, it has become more equalized through the last years. We started almost with subscriptions 25 years ago. I don't know if you remember, but you had to have a subscription to access internet. So we started at an ISP, which is an internet service provider. And then we started to launch more products and started to get more relevance to grow our audience. And then our advertising revenue started to grow. Today is almost 50-50, 60-40, depends of how you measure and every month, but it's more balanced between subscriptions and advertising. Okay, I highlight that because I believe it's very important you have a foot in both streams of revenue, because subscriptions you can grow very fast subscription, but at the other side you can lose very fast as well. So it's more it's a more stable revenue stream that you have that can guarantee you to foresee and to plan for the future. And advertising, of course, is something that you have to every month you have to struggle, but you can grow very fast. You can find new projects. You can find new lines of revenue for advertising as well. So I think this is our ideal, to have a balance between subscription and advertising. And we got there finally. Talking about a little bit the revenue strategies, we are focusing now. Since from the beginning, we always had some exclusive and closed content, exclusive for subscribers, mostly based on partnerships with major content providers, most notably Folha de São Paulo, which is within our closed content and exclusive for our subscribers. But the last years, we started to increase our strategy in terms of closing our exclusive premium content and providing this exclusively for our subscribers. We started almost 7 to 8 years ago with this paywall strategy. Currently, we have a paywall for all of our blogs, our columnists. It's more than 200 columnists that we have here at UOL. All these blogs and columnists, it's a closed content, and we have understood that the closed content, which is premium, which is exclusive, this is the content that you can close. This is the content that you can put on the subscriber for subscriber only access. Okay, And the main questions in order when to close subscribers is which content should I close? And how to evaluate the benefit of closing versus the revenue I lose from advertising. And the main answer is you have to understand where you make money on advertising. So we started a very comprehensive project in terms of understand the data, how do you sell each part of our inventory at which CPM, and also we started to understand the profile of our audience. We have several tools to understand how the audience is behaving in each part of the session, and with that we can decide which part of our inventory we can close and sell only to subscribers, and which part of inventory it's better to keep open and benefit from the huge audience that we have. All of that, all you can do, it's with data. So data currently is the most important asset that you have. We are running projects of data maturity in all parts of our site, in all parts of our business, in order to understand and especially in order to maximize revenue and most importantly, maximize profit. Talking about advertising monetization, one of the most important strategies that you had in order to maximize and to grow our advertising monetization is what we call a walled garden, which is basically we put a wall to our premium inventory. So in order to access inventory, this inventory is not access to programmatic auction or to the general public. You have to talk to some or one of our commercial team guys in order to advertise on this inventory. The not so premium inventory, it's open to programmatic auction, to open auction on every other formats of commercialization. But the premium inventory, that one that it's exclusive to us, the one that you have more audience and they have more visibility, we closed and it's not available for open auction. With that, we could increase more than increasing 3 or 4 times through the last 4 years our average CPM, and it helped us to increase the participation of advertising revenue within our total revenue. The other important part of advertising monetization is video production. We started to invest a lot in video production through the last 2 to 3 years. We launched our own in-house production capability, which is called MOV. And we also increased the inventory of video a lot. So video today is a very important part of our format, advertising formats, an important part of our advertising revenue. And the third part is first part data. Considering that you have more than 110 million people that visit our website and our properties at least once a month, we are able to collect a huge amount of data, which is going to be very important right now, since as everybody is following the changes in the programmatic arena, the control in terms of the use of data, and the importance that is to have a first-party data for your future advertising strategy. So this is our main it's a tripod that we are basing our the future of our advertising revenue. Also, we started to increase a lot of other formats. Branded content has become a very important format of advertising for UOL. Several important clients are coming for us to advertise in this format, branded content. And within our proprietary content, like Otalab, which is it's a live and entertainment program that we have launched last year. This is just an example. We have 2.5 million views per program. It's a weekly program. and it has had a lot of attraction for the advertisers. We also expanded to offline. We have several proprietary formats offline. The biggest one is the Carnaval. Carnaval is a festival that we used to run every year, but now it's already confirmed for the next year. It's a festival that we have here in São Paulo and also in Rio de Janeiro, with a lot of attractions, a lot of live marketing, a lot of activations, product activations, and it attracts a lot of interest from the advertisers. We also have, for instance, Universal Talk, which is a series of debates for the human universe, UOL Debate for next year elections, and also Prêmio UOL Carros for UOL cars. We have a prize for different categories in the car industry, and also this is just an example. We have four other products as well, but the main point here is that we are expanding offline. We are not only focused on our digital inventory, but also we are presenting to the clients and to the agents a more comprehensive solutions in terms of advertising, comprising digital, comprising offline delivery, and also everything based on information and data and the quality of our products. We have focused a lot on news content, especially news live streaming of news content with several different products. This helps us to captive our audience. It keeps the audience very captive because you have a very constant stream of news and constant stream of new products that we launch. We are fight against fake news, of course, during this time of so fragmented sources of news. When you have the credibility that you have, the tradition that you have, we have seen that a lot of people are coming to UOL to verify the news and to make sure that everything that they are seeing in social media, etc., it's true. So this helped us a lot during this period. Also, we are investing a lot in entertainment, and this entertainment is a proprietary content, the next exclusive content. It helps us to bring both advertising interest and also some closed part of this proprietary content. We have a package for an offer exclusive to subscribers. And also recently we have started our live content. We have more than 80 hours daily of live content, news, entertainment, sports, debates, which brings engagement. With all of this, we are also focusing on distribution. We are distributing our content, especially our video content, through our streaming platform, which is UOL Play, but also we are present in YouTube, we are present in podcast platforms, we are expanding also to radio, to cable TV, and just to emphasize 2 times cable TV. But what I have here is you have to be available, you have to be present throughout the journey of the customer. And with that, we can bring our brand very strong and very present in the heads of our audience. And also we can expand our inventory for advertising. And when it's exclusive, we increase our sales in terms of subscriptions. So concluding, it's key to have a balance between advertising and subscriptions revenue, because you don't have to rely on any one of them exclusively. So it's very important to find a balance. In order to maximize the revenue, you have to understand where to make money on advertising, and you have to understand the profile of your audience, so you can decide what close and what not close. in order to make the most of your revenue. To get that, you have to have data. So collect data, analyze data, form a group internally to understand this data, and especially form a group to distribute this data and make it available to all the stakeholders. Otherwise, it won't make sense and it's a waste of money. Proprietary, exclusive, relevant content is valuable to subscribers, so you have to invest on that. Also, to understanding when to close the content and when to open to general public. Quality and availability is what drives the audience. Without quality, the audience goes away. But if you don't find you everywhere, they also look for another provider. And you also should consider to expand your ad formats to reach the audience every time and everywhere, not only within the digital properties that you have, but also it's important to create, and we are creating even more, and every time we are continuing to create more options for our advertisers to present their brand, not only digitally, but also offline and in our other formats and other platforms that we are present. Okay, basically is that. I hope you find relevant, and I'm glad to answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thiago. And thank you, Paulo. Now we're going to go to Thiago for the second presentation, and then we'll continue with the Q&A. Sure. Welcome, Thiago.
Thank you. Let me share my presentation here. Everybody sees that?
Yes, you just need to put it on. There you go. Perfect. Yep.
Okay, good. My name is Thiago, and I'm the Commercial and Digital Development Director at Editora Globo in Brazil. Editora Globo is the leading publishing company in the country with 4 newspapers, 20 websites, and 15 magazines. And before I started, I'd like to thank Raquel and Rodrigo for the invitation to be here today. I brought 3 cases that represents the way we are managing to increase our digital ad revenue, especially in what I call beyond CPM's negotiation. And before I get there, I'll give a quick context and highlight our view for publishers' main challenges in this area. The context here is the global digital advertising is highly concentrated in walled gardens. Also, great part of the investments that may reach publishers are retained as tech fees. So what publishers should do to be relevant to advertisers and increase their digital revenue? In Brazil, how important is the digital ad market? You know? In Brazil, the Brazilian advertising digital market is getting close to the turning point in which more than 50% will be in digital. We are already 43% according to eMarketing forecast of share in digital ads from the total advertising market in Brazil. In US market, the turning point was reached in 2019, and according to this forecast in 2021, the share of digital ad will be over 2/3. 67% of all advertising investment in US will be in digital. And the reason is simple. The ad money follows the audience attention. And as we can see here in the Rootsuit study, people are getting more time in internet, and more people are getting online in every country, every year in the world. And the first question I make to myself here, and I bet many other publishers make it too, is if money and people are there, where is my share? where is the part of the money that publishers should have in this, with all this increase in digital? And the first answer here is that the triopoly of Google, Facebook, and Amazon continues to receive the largest share of all investment worldwide. According to eMarketer, in 2021, they are going to have 58% of all the investment in digital in the world. If we include Alibaba and Tencent, it's gonna be 70%, almost 70% of all the digital. And even if we consider that part of the money of the Google's transaction goes to the publishers, we shall notice that only 16% of the Google's digital ad revenues is reported as Google network members' property, according to the Alphabet annual report. So, and the second answer here for this question is 49% of the programmatic investments are retained as tech fees. So a small part goes to publishers, and 50%, almost 50% of this part is retained as tech fees. And according to the programmatic marketing forecast from Zenith, 70% of digital is programmatic. So the challenge is, so how can publisher increase digital revenue in this scenario? And considering that the money follows the audience attention, first of all, we shall understand what people do online. So if people are there, people are online, we saw that, but what they are doing there, knowing that, what's the best approach advertisers can do? That's where we can start planning digital strategy here. Here we have the Comscore ranking for the 10 most accessed websites in Brazil. And what do they have in common? What can we say people do online from that information? My bet is people are doing mostly 3 different things online. They are searching for answers, things that they want to know right now, such as what's the dollar conversion rate? Or how do I do a bathroom renovation? Or home office decor ideas. They want an answer and they search for this answer. The second group is to connect with other people and news through timelines. And here we see Facebook, UOL, Globo, R7. Though we have to remember that news websites are also timelines, are also places where people go to understand what's going on in the city, in the country, or in the world, or to connect with friends. And the third group of websites, most accessed websites here, are the ones I'm calling services here, like e-commerce, banks, to do transactions or streaming services. And this is pretty much what this research from Hootsuite again says about what people are doing online. They are finding information, staying in touch with friends and family, keeping updated with news and events. Same in social media. They are updating themselves with news and current events, staying in touch with friends, finding fun entertainment content. In this case, it is safe for me to say that brands would have a better connection with the audience if they were able to be both the answer for what people are searching for, or be the content that is good enough to call people's attention during their information journey on the internet. So it's ask for the marketing to change their approach by doing marketing. Instead of setting touching points when I schedule my campaign, like I am an advertiser that produces car and I set a campaign on March. However, people keep buying cars on April, May, July, December. So if I start storing content that is useful to people when they need that, I'm gonna change a little bit my strategy to be the answer for what people search for. And publishers can be the best strategic partners since we have endorsement, the SEO, and the know-how of producing and distributing content. A practical example of that, people do not engage with diet only in January because a brand decided to launch their new weight loss supplement in January. People keep engaging with diet every month. Here is a keyword to report about diet, how much searches every month we have about this theme. And we have over 700,000 searches for diet every month. So in this scenario, I would split our challenges in two parts. Our challenge in digital and video is basically to compete with CPMs. And we have to keep in mind that platforms such as Google and Facebook are doing a great job. That's why they are getting 70% of the market share in digital advertising. So to compete with them for display and videos, we should provide proof of performance, meaning real-time dashboards, data, viewability, CTR, a scale that justify an additional control for the advertisers, because we have to keep in mind that they have a control for Facebook, for Google, and why should then have another control to have a business with us? So we have to provide a scale that justify that. And scale here, I mean niche relevance, like if you have a good audience around pregnancy, cars, decor, fashion, so you can be good at your niche. Long tail is also a big challenge because big part of Google and Facebook ads comes from small and medium business, and we have a problem on how can we reach them, because we will never be able to have a sales team that is big enough to connect it to all potential advertisers, especially if they are small or medium, and zero and first party data. And we have to understand that it's not about the register wall only. Context and behavioral data is also important. Like if you have a great audience around pregnancy content, you may say that you have a great audience of pregnant women, and by the context, you have a good data that's gonna set a new another tool for your advertiser, especially in the cookies-free landscape that's coming. And the biggest opportunity, in my opinion, is to provide advertising as a service, to provide the audience attention over the advertiser's message. We can use our display and video inventory as part of a media solution, such as events and branded content strategy. However, besides the quality, integration with the editorial style, deeper level of conversation attributes that we have on branded content we produce, we should add the performance point of view in branded content. And that leads me to the final part of my presentation, which is the cases of what we are doing. I brought 3 cases where the performance measured and reported to the advertiser goes beyond the impacts and CPMs. First of all, the case of Sustagem Kids, which is a kids supplement, kids food supplement. The case is about how to get out of the internet noise. How can I take a brand out of the internet noise? We used this solution for them until last August. If you Googled Sustagem Kids in Brazil, the first 3 answers in Google would be opinion blogs with different reviews of the product. Reviews that the brand didn't agree with because they are saying basically that the product would fatten the kids. And they asked us how to have a content with the correct information being the first answer in Google, organic answer in Google, because someone else was the main voice to explain their value proposition, and they were in panic, like, how can someone else with an opinion that is very wrong, in my opinion, to describe the product, be the main voice in the internet to explain what I do? And then we studied all the attributes and keywords that were ranking those blogs, and we created a SEO-oriented branded content and published that at our parenting website, Crescer. And the result, we make the branded content as the first organic position at Google resulting page. Notice that here, the KPI were not page views or unique visitors. They wanted to have their message stored for this very moment when people search for them. The second case is the case that we are producing for Banco Safra, Safra Bank. And we created a branded channel at Valor Econômico, which is our business and economic newspaper. And the goal was, they needed to amplify the reach of their daily morning call videos and distribute content that would position the bank as the investment bank. We set KPIs for page views, video views, engagement with the content, net promoting score of the content, a brand lift study, and uses of link building strategy to also improve their SEO, to make Banco Safra starting ranking better at Google search. As you can see here in this video, by the end of every content, we have a chatbot asking people if they would, there you go, if they find this content useful, if they would recommend the content for a friend, if they know this is offered by a brand, and which score they would give to this brand. We provided to them a dashboard so they could keep up with the real-time results with all the measurements of page views, time spent, impacts on native ads, including reach and engagement in social media, newsletter, and the results of the chatbot survey. In this example here, in 4 months, we delivered over 600,000 page views for over 500,000 unique visitors, which spent about 5 minutes in average in each content of Banco Safra published at Valor Econômico. And this is very important to have this kind of real-time measurement, because it gives to the advertiser a immediate feeling of ROI. They know what their money are becoming. Pretty much the same experience they have by buying advertising through platforms such as Google and Facebook. Every dollar transforms into something. So when you give this kind of real-time report, the advertiser has the feeling that the money are becoming something. They are doing something with their investment with us. Every piece of content also have backlinks like this one here that connect the audience with their websites, and all these backlinks are there to improve their SEO strategy, because when we do that, we somehow transfer our authority score in Google, because Valor Econômico has a very good authority score in investment, and we transfer part of this authority score to Banco Safra as well. And the KPIs, the results that are making them to renew the product with us, this project with us for the past 2 years, is we are increasing their Monicore views. We have branded content that we are delivering 84% more than we set, with an average of 5 minutes and 25 seconds of engagement with the content. And we produced these brand lift studies, besides that real-time NPS research that I showed. And this brand lift study was made in 2 different moments, one before the project starts and another 6 months later. And the main achievement was 20% on recall index as investment bank, high increase in brand attributes such as safeness and solidity, 55% of branded content recall, 91% would recommend the content to a friend, and 75% think the content is very useful. And the Shoptime case, Shoptime is a e-commerce in Brazil, for those who doesn't know. And it is another case where the KPI is not reached at all. Instead, we are helping them to have a better rank in Google. This is what we are calling here commerce content, which is branded content that help customers with their choosing dilemma. It is branded content for that moment where the customers are searching for information around the product category. They haven't decided which product they are going to buy. They want to understand the category they want to buy. It is not also an affiliated link. It's a very different business model, because the content are presented by the sponsor, and the business model is the sponsor pays for the content, aiming to have a better score in SEO. Every month, we work over a list of words that represent categories that are important to the e-commerce, such as robot vacuum cleaners, new refrigerators models, and we produce content that are well positioned in Google, so we can use backlinks and transfer this authority for the e-commerce. 2 practical examples of how we measure and how we are succeeding on doing that. We created a bath towel content at Jornal O Globo, which had 700,000 page views in only 1 month. And we transferred this authority for Shoptime that start positioning as the second website in organic search for bath towel. The same for electric fryer or air fryer here. We produced a content at O Globo about myth and truth about air fryers, and we got over 170,000 page views, and Shoptime improved 2 positions for electric fryers. They were the 3rd website ranked in Google for electric fryer, and now they are the 1st one. And for air fryer, they were not ranked at all, and now they are the 6th position. My takeaways here, customers are online, they decide what they are going to look at, searching for answers or reading, watching content that call their attention. Brands can provide the content people are searching for or discovering timelines. Brands are using content for different purposes in line with changes in technology and consumer behavior. Publishers can expand their participation in advertiser strategy, as long as they evolve in data measurement, SEO techniques, and audience engagement. And publishers have the endorsement, the SEO skills, and the know-how to produce and distribute and measure the impact of branded content. Some of the results of this transformation we are doing in our offer is that the digital ad revenue represents now 42% of the total advertising revenue in our company, and it starts with 15% in 2017. We have produced this year over 5,700 pieces of branded content from January to July. That brought 100% growth in branded content revenue for us. Let's talk about the doubts and how we can discuss these cases with you guys. Thank you.
Okay, excellent stuff, both from Thiago and Paulo. Congratulations on your presentations. We have a short amount of time for Q&A, and I'd like to start with Paulo. Paulo focused a lot on this very key point for, I think it's for most of our audience, is how to balance or how to optimize advertising revenues and subscription revenues, how to come up with a paywall strategy where you can basically have the best of both worlds. So if you could, Paulo, just expand a little bit on your recent work on paywalls. Of course, you explained the logic behind it, to paywall the exclusive content that you have a lot of. But in recent times, what is the data that you're looking at? What are the partners that you are working with? How you're organizing your teams to really optimize this opportunity?
Okay, thank you, Andre. Yes, I think it all depends on how you are positioned today. From our point, we always had a very important, very relevant audience. So it was very difficult to get rid of this audience to focus solely on subscription revenue. Okay. Because we realized that the subscription revenue, it was slowly decreasing, but also the people that remained was very stable and very loyal to our brand, etc. And on the other side, we had a huge audience. It was very difficult to decide solely on, I'm going to close all our content exclusively for subscribers, because you knew that the balance wasn't closed at the end of the day. So what I started to do 5 years ago or 6 years ago, we started some experience with paywall. Initially, we did it internally with our tech team. It was just experience, like a MVP product, just to understand how the audience would behave when you start to close the content. We started to close with a strategy of closing, of providing 10 free contents for the audience, and after the 10th view, then they will receive a paywall. Okay, we did that for just parts of our website. So we start with some verticals. I don't remember very well, but I think that cars and some part of the entertainment vertical that we had, we closed exclusive for subscribers. The experience was good, wasn't excellent. We didn't see a lot of change in terms of revenue. We saw some revenue coming from advertising to subscribers, but we noticed that this wasn't the right path to follow. So we stepped back, and last year we contracted Piano, which is a worldwide very known provider for paywall solutions, and also for data solutions as well. So we implemented Piano through all of our properties, not only our own properties, but also in some big and major partners as well, to understand. The first objective was to understand the behavior of their audience, how many times they come back, how many time they spend consuming the content, and what kind of content is of most interest for different kinds of audiences. And with that, 6 months ago, we started to speed up this strategy of closing the content. So we closed all of our blogs. We closed also some part of the economy section of our website. And Bate-Papo also we closed. We didn't close the entire Bate-Papo, which is the chat, but we offered additional content and additional features for subscribers only. So what we are noticing now, and now it started to pay off, this strategy started to pay off, we noticed that within the areas that now it's exclusive for subscribers, we are making much more money through subscription instead of the money that you used to make for advertising in those sections. So now I believe that you got the, as you say here in Brazil, you got the hand. We got to the point. We are pinpointing our strategy, and now we are starting to discuss how to expand, and at which point I can expand this strategy. So what contents can I close? And we are discussing, and where I firmly believe now is, we don't have to close the current content, because the current content is already open for the audience, the users, and the readers of UOL are already used to have the content. What we are doing now is to create more content based on the content that we have, and with a premium view, as a premium content with more detail and more depth. And this content we are going to start to offer exclusive for subscribers. So basically, for the future, this is our strategy. We are balancing how to close content and how to produce more premium content to offer exclusive in the subscription model.
Perfect, excellent. I also have a question for Thiago about the cases that you presented. So each one of them is very sophisticated, because it's beyond just display advertising or sales of impressions, much beyond that. So you got their distribution, you got tech, you got data, you got creative, you got everything. So I would like for you to take us through this evolution process. How do you prepare your teams to work like this? And how do you put everyone together? Also, I'm curious to know if you guys work with the agencies for these advertising partners, or because basically you're doing a lot of the stuff that classically falls into the advertising agency realm. So how do you organize for being able to present such a sophisticated proposition for your clients? If you do everything internally, if you hire, freelance talent, depending on the characteristic of the job. So basically, how do you approach and engage clients for such a sophisticated and multifaceted advertising proposition?
Well, starting by the question about the agencies, of course, we work with them as well, and some cases directly with the advertisers. But the agencies are demanding this kind of services nowadays too. And we got here by adding services every moment. So we didn't start like that. At the first moment, we were a branded content studio that were helping advertisers to change the voice they want to have for the message. Like, You may have a voice as a advertising, or you may have a voice as a content provider to better explain your product, to better explain your positioning, or to be the authority voice in the area that you want to be recognized with. The second moment, they want to, we start having to prove the performance of the reach of the content. Like, can we set a minimal level of page views for every piece of content? Can we set a minimal level of impressions for every native ads, a minimal level of reach in social media? And then we add this guarantee of level of engagement. And the third moment, we discovered that we could also help the advertisers to get the brands out of the noise, meaning everyone starts their journey in the internet, at the internet, by searching something they are looking for. So how can we help advertisers to get out of the noise, meaning to rank better on the subjects or in the products they are producing? So we start this new skill of backlinks and link building product. At the first case we produced it almost for free, because we were not able that moment to guarantee that we would succeed on that. And then since we produced one or two cases, it was a proof of concept for us, and also a way to train our sales team to sell that, because to sell that as an idea is too hard to do that. When you have 2 or 3 cases in your hand and you explain to advertisers, this is what I'm able to do because I've been doing that for the past 1 year or so, it's much better to explain what you're doing and to make your sales team to be confident enough to explain what we can do.
Excellent, very good. So we do have some questions from the audience. I have one here from Werner Zitzman. In quick translation here, it's in Spanish, but basically, if you guys, this question I guess goes for both of you, but if you guys have sort of a name for the split in the future, an optimal or ideal split between revenues that come from advertising and revenues that come from some subscription. Is there a goal there, or how to break down those two broad categories of revenues? So maybe Paulo could go first, and
Thiago go first. I believe that I showed my presentation. We used to have much more revenue coming from subscriptions, but also we are balanced between subscriptions and advertising. Not because subscription declined, on the other side, it's growing, and it's growing strongly, but advertising has grown a lot. This is our case, of course, but I believe that a healthy distribution and balance between advertising and subscriptions is some kind in the neighborhood of 50-50 or 60-40, no more than that, because you have both of the best of both worlds. In subscriptions, you have the stability, you don't have fluctuation, but also you don't have a strong growth. And advertising can have a much more strong, consistent growth, but also we have more costs, of course. So I believe that's a balance between both worlds. I have to have the foot on both.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thiago, would you like to tackle this one too?
Sure. We don't have the balance of the revenues from subscription and advertising as a goal. However, this is going to be the result of our strategy. It's going to be a balance of them, because what we do here, we set milestones for subscription revenues, such as the first milestone, we are pretty much almost there, is subscription has to pay for the newsroom cost. So this is the first milestone. the newsroom cost shall be total paid for subscription. Like you are producing content for an audience, and you guys from the newsroom have to engage them enough for them to pay as much cost as you bring. So this is the first milestone. The second milestone is going to be something else. So we set milestones for subscription, and for advertising, we set different goals. Like this year, the digital in the world going to grow around 30%. We have to follow the growth of digital advertising, even though we are not a platform. So what kind of products we going to be able to create to compensate the fact that we have to follow the growth of a platform, and we are not a platform. So we are setting different milestones for each one, but the final result is going to be a balance between them.
Perfect, excellent. I do have a follow-up question. It's still on this topic, and it comes from Marco Fettolini, and it's specifically for Paulo. And yes, after costs, looking at gross margin, the 60-40% split between ad revenue and subscription revenue, does it change a lot? Do you?
Yes, it changes, since in subscriptions you don't have those recurring costs that you have to have in order to make the revenue of advertising every month. So in the long term, the subscription margin, gross margin, and net margin is a more stable, more solid margin that you have. But of course, we have margin in both. The margin is slightly lower in advertising, and subscribers is higher.
Excellent. I think we need to wrap up due to time. I would like to thank you both very much for the presentations. Were really excellent stuff, and for this quick Q&A session. I think it added a lot to the conference, and I would like to turn it over to Rodrigo for final messages on this great session that we just had. Thank you, Paulo and Thiago, a lot, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Paulo, Thiago, thank you so much. Very solid presentations on a topic that is at the core of many of our members and constituents' strategy, I think. There's a big pivot to paid content, but at the end, we need to also think on not giving up on the advertising strategy, which is still extremely relevant. And that's what this whole day is about, actually. So again, obrigado, and I hope to see you soon, this time physically and not virtually. And Andre, thank you so much for the moderation. I'm going to switch to Spanish and tell you everyone what's coming up next. Pues entonces cerramos esta primera sesión y en 20 minutos vamos a tener a Lucas Moretti, Charbit, que ya se ha transformado casi que en una tradición de estar en nuestra conferencia Digital Media Latam y compartir la extremadamente valiosa data que tienen sobre las audiencias que le permite su herramienta. Entonces vamos a tener a Lucas Moretti en 20 minutos, que nos va a contar un poco qué tendencias han visto en el último año y qué se viene. Así que acompáñenos, Lucas Moretti, que es Account Executive para América Latina de Charbit. Y luego a las 12 hora de México, 14 horas hora de Brasilia y de Buenos Aires, vamos a seguir enfocándonos en estas estrategias de publicidad con el Heraldo de México. Heraldo de México, que ha hecho una apuesta bastante agresiva hacia el crecimiento de audiencias, hacia la escala, un medio que hace un par de años tenía una presencia digital muy pequeña, hoy se ha transformado en los principales jugadores en digital del mercado mexicano, y con una estrategia también, obviamente, con un objetivo de monetizar a través de publicidad programática. Así que vamos a tener también a Armando Casian, que es el director digital del Heraldo de México, Ezequiel Argusti, que es consultor asociado de Guanifa en México y que trabaja de la mano del Heraldo en esta estrategia, y Fiorentina Domínguez Pinto, que es gerente de cuentas en el equipo de áreas estratégicas de Google, que va a estar con nosotros desde Chile. Así que eso va a ser a las 12 hora de mediodía de Ciudad de México, 14 2 de la tarde de Brasil y de Argentina. Los acompañamos a agendar, los invitamos a agendar y acompañarnos para estas sesiones que se vienen en breve. Así que muchísimas gracias nuevamente a Paulo, Tiago y André, y nos vemos en 20 minutos para la próxima sesión.